It's Tuesday, August the 29th, and this is your Barbados Today afternoon news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, the island's teachers' unions say they remain uncertain as to the readiness of the scheduled reopening of schools on September the 11th. President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redmond, tells Barbados Today she's not in a position at this time to say for sure, since she is awaiting a meeting with the Ministry of Education to discuss a number of outstanding issues. And her counterpart in the Barbados Union of Teachers, Pedro Shepherd, said at least one primary school may not be ready to reopen when the term begins, but the ball is in the ministry's court.
We are about ready. It's dependent on the ministry. Teachers are ready. You know, there were some 18 or more schools under repairs. I don't know how far they are in terms of completion. The ministry would have done a tour last week. We haven't been invited on the tour. We have not had a report. We are doing our own touring sometime this week. We started yesterday. You see, Bay Primary has quite a bit of work because Harvey apparently, they had the roof off. Harvey came in and did some damage, so they now have to do a whole set of work there to repair that damage. So that might not be open on the 11th. But other than that, we will do our own visitation and see. But it is dependent on the ministry, really. Teachers are already teachers. We're in schools running camps and getting classrooms ready and all sorts of things for the better part of for the vacation, really.
When contacted, Chief Education Officer Kieran Best was unavailable for comment. A former Barbados government criminologist is predicting that the crime situation will get worse if the authorities fail to adopt a different approach to crime fighting. Declaring that she was not surprised at the worrying level of gun violence in the country, Yolande Ford yesterday said the continued reliance of jailing young people was not the answer to crime problems. In fact, the 24-year veteran, who has worked as a consultant to the World Bank, the Cayman Islands government, the Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretariat, and the Inter-American Development Bank, said Barbados was now reaping the results of failing to introduce proper early intervention strategies. Ford, who in 1997 produced a report entitled Criminal Risk Factors containing 20 recommendations, which she submitted to government, said in an extensive interview with Barbados Today that those involved in the gun crimes and other lawlessness did not wake up one morning and decided to do so.
So the first point I want to make when persons say is, well, what's happening in Barbados? Why all these shootings? What really happening here? Is I am wondering what is all of this shock and alarm about. And I don't say that to throw cold water on persons' disgust with the situation, but only because I know that there is sufficient documentation in this country that indicates that if certain steps, if certain programmatic interventions are not taken, you should expect no less a result.
Ford, a transnational organized crime specialist, is recommending a comprehensive integrated crime prevention strategy.
Yes, we cannot possibly have a strategy that does not involve a strong, well-resourced law enforcement element. I am just saying a strategy that carries those two components and not a serious crime prevention program that deals with early indicators of criminal behavior is flawed, and it will never, ever reap the type of success that we would want in terms of crime reduction in this country. This is the core of the problem as far as I'm concerned.
That was noted criminologist Yolande Ford. The 17-year-old girl who was reported missing on Sunday has been traced. Police say Sherelle Aquila Carroll of Reservoir Road, Lodge Hill, St. Michael is now safe and sound. No further information was provided. In sports, West Indies are fighting back on the final day of their second test match against England in Headingley as the regional side chased 322 to win. Despite an early morning breakthrough of 2 wickets by England, including a bizarre run-out of Kyle Hope, Craig Brathwaite and Shea Hope were at lunch performing a solid partnership as they seek to pull off an astonishing victory. Andrew McGlashan reports on the pre-lunch session.
More than anything else, this test has been about 2 things: West Indies fight back and dropped catches. That continued to be the case on the 5th morning here at Headingley, as England sought wickets after their 4th day comeback and West Indies tried to dig in and frustrate them, maybe give themselves an outside shot at victory later in the day. England's cause was let down once again by some shoddy catching in the slips, Craig Brathwaite edging Stuart Broad to Alistair Cook, but he let the chance go. Brathwaite's the sort of batsman that you expect to capitalise on an opportunity like that, although he did then give another chance when driving the ball back to Stuart Broad, who promptly dropped it again, although on this occasion it wasn't quite so lucky for West Indies, certainly not for Kyle Hope, who was run out backing up as the drop catch deflected down onto the stumps. That was one of only 2 wickets England managed in the session, however, with Brathwaite going to past 50 for the second time in the match, and he has given West Indies something to fight for once again, and the chance of just putting the pressure on England as the day wears on.
And since that report, we have the latest at tea. West Indies now need at tea, that is 122 to win, and 3 wickets are down. Now Brathwaite, he made 92, and Ralston Chase, who's not out 2, and Shea Hope is 78 not out, and that's at tea.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
We are the tridents, we run it down. Everybody know we the baddest around. Anything test, we will throw that down. Come in, Peter, and tell me how me sound. Yes, lyric, you're talking the truth. When we walk out there, they have to salute. Boy, when we put on the trident suit, we put everybody from you. Let's go, tridents. Barbados tridents. Let's go, tridents. Barbados tridents. Wash them all. Dust them all. Knock them all. Send them all. Run them all. Brush them all. Get them all. Dust them all. You know why? Barbados tridents is better than anything. Nothing can test with beating.
And now to the big story on the regional front. Former Trinidad and Tobago Attorney General in the People's Partnership Government, Anand Ramlogan, has been arrested. Ramlogan was arrested this morning at his home in Palm East. He is accused of misbehavior in public office and perverting the course of justice. Ramlogan's arrest stems from a 2015 incident in which Director of the Police Complaints Authority, David West, alleges that Ramlogan attempted to bribe him into withdrawing his witness statement in a defamation lawsuit between Ramlogan and Dr. Keith Rowley. Deputy Police Commissioner Harold Phillips and other officers involved in the investigation carried out this morning's arrest. On the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump headed to Texas today to survey the response to devastating Tropical Storm Harvey, the first major natural disaster of his White House tenure, as officials in Houston struggle to manage the massive floodwaters. The slow-moving storm has brought catastrophic flooding to Texas, killed at least 9 people, led to mass evacuations, and paralyzed Houston, the 4th most populous U.S. city.
More than 5,000 people weathering a crowded and chaotic night inside Houston's convention center. But with Tropical Storm Harvey claiming at least 9 lives, those inside this ad hoc shelter are among the lucky ones. Rescue operations through the night, picking up people wading through the water in darkness. This video from the National Guard shows crews in a boat retrieving an adult and child from flooded streets. People trudging through water as their homes flooded were lucky if they were met by volunteers or rescue workers who offered them a choice.
Dry clothes, you're going to have food, and you're going to have a place to sleep for tonight. All right? Okay, I can tell you that. Now, if you want to come with me, we can get you there, and then we can worry about where you're trying to get to tomorrow. All right?
Okay.
We're worried about tonight. Fair enough?
Drone footage showing the extent of the damage to America's fourth largest city, estimated to be in the billions of dollars. But Reuters correspondent Ernest Chater says that at least one of Houston's vital institutions is still functioning.
The Texas Medical Center, one of the world's largest medical complexes, is still open. Thankfully, it had a defensive network of floodgates that held back a lot of the flood waters. Only one hospital flooded, and that's because of a burst pipe. So really, a lot of the Texas Medical Center hospitals were spared the brunt of the storm so far.
And that's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.